very good morning. It's just past 8 this Tuesday morning and we're back again with Breakfast News. I'm Rukma and with me is Anil. A very good morning to you, Anil.
Good morning.
And well, over the next 1 hour, as always, we'll be getting you all the major stories from across India and the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address commemorating 75 years of the United Nations. His vision to transform the destiny of farmers here in India. And well, news from Parliament, the COVID situation, as well as our segment on health and news from sports as well.
Well, lots to look forward to this Tuesday morning. We always begin our program with a thought. Today's thought is very simple. Don't look back and ask why. Look ahead and say why not. You know, still 100 days left in this year 2020. It's been a tough year for most of us, but it's a year where we pick our lessons together and look at all the positivity and the hope that we carry forward this Tuesday morning. Let's get started with the top stories that we're tracking at the top of this hour.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserts the world needs a reformed multilateralism that reflects today's realities. In his video address to the high-level meeting of the General Assembly to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the UN, PM Modi says the United Nations faces a crisis of confidence without comprehensive reforms.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Indian Institute of Technology Guwahati's 22nd convocation today via video conference. Over 1,800 students will receive degrees.
Cabinet hikes minimum support price for Rabi crops. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar makes the announcement in the Lok Sabha. Government says it should reassure farmers that the minimum support price mechanism will continue.
The Lok Sabha passes 5 key bills including Pandemic Amendment Bill 2020, the Homeopathy Central Council Amendment Bill 2020 and the Indian Medical Council Central Council Amendment Bill 2020. Also clears FCRA Amendment Bill. Government says the move is neither aimed at NGOs nor any particular religion.
India's recovery rate from COVID-19 rises to over 80%. Nearly 44 lakh patients cured and discharged. Case fatality rate further drops to 1.6%.
And in sports, world number 1 Novak Djokovic overcomes a slow start to lift his 5th Italian Open title. Defeats Argentinian Diego Schwartzman in straight sets 7-5, 6-3 for a record 36th ATP Masters crown.
And well, it's time to begin the breakfast news with our segment on news from across the country. And well, centering on the Prime Minister's video address last night, as well as his address in the morning as well.
Well, let's now look into what exactly the Prime Minister said. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the high-level meeting to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. In his address, Prime Minister stressed on the need for reformed multilateralism that reflects today's realities and addresses contemporary challenges. Prime Minister also said that without comprehensive reforms, the United Nations faces a crisis of confidence. Prime Minister also said that although much has been achieved in the last 75 years, its original mission remains incomplete and work still needs to be done in preventing conflicts and ensuring developments.
Your Excellency, Mr. Volkan Bozkır, President of the General Assembly, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste. 75 years ago, a new hope arose from the horrors of war. For the first time in human history, an institution was created for the entire world. As a founding signatory of the UN Charter, India was part of that noble vision. It reflected India's own philosophy of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which sees all creation as a family. Our world today is a better place because of the United Nations. We pay tribute to all those who have advanced the cause of peace and development under the UN flag, including in UN peacekeeping missions, where India has been a leading contributor. However, while much has been achieved, the original mission remains incomplete, and the far-reaching declaration that we are adopting today acknowledges that work still needs to be done in preventing conflict, in ensuring development, in addressing climate change, in reducing inequality, and in leveraging digital technologies. The declaration also acknowledges the need for reform of the United Nations itself. We cannot fight today's challenges with outdated structures. Without comprehensive reforms, the UN faces a crisis of confidence. For today's interconnected world, we need a reformed multilateralism that reflects today's realities, gives voice to all stakeholders, addresses contemporary challenges, and focuses on human welfare. India looks forward to working with all other nations toward this end. Thank you. Namaste.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi there virtually addressing the UN General Assembly. It's the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, and the address was around 3:30 this morning. This is just a short while back. Joining us now for more on this is our reporter Arun Sharma. Well, Arun, a very good morning to you. Prime Minister there stressing on reformed multilateralism. It's a universal concern of the 21st century for some time now. The concern that the structure of the Security Council, for example, of the UN ought to be more democratic, ought to be more representative. The Prime Minister making some very pertinent points, echoing what most of the world in this new scenario, in this modern scenario, feels.
Good morning, Rukma. That's right. Now, in last 75 years, the world order has primarily changed, and challenges that the world was facing 60, 70 years back or 6 to 7 decades back, that does not exist now. The challenges are new in this century. So now we cannot sort out those challenges on the basis of this outdated structure. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been pitching hard as far as reforms of these international institutions. Now, it does not only include about the United Nations reform, it also includes the reforms at International Monetary Fund, it includes reforms at the World Health Organization. That means all the global institutions, there is a need for reforms at this point in time, and reformed multilateralism looking at the reality of today. So that was the focus upon. But most importantly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted the point. He also, made aware to the entire world that if in case reforms are not done, or primarily comprehensive reforms at these global institutions are not done, so there will be...
Well, the 8 suspended Rajya Sabha MPs there sitting outside Parliament, and the Deputy Chairman there, Harivansh, Dr. Harivansh there meeting with those 8 suspended Rajya Sabha MPs. who refused to leave the parliament premises last night, who spent the night there outside parliament.
Right, amid a ruckus yesterday in the Rajya Sabha, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu had announced the suspension of these 8 MPs, and among them prominent names of the TMC as well as the Indian National Congress. And you can see there those visuals there as they sit on a dharna, protest of sorts, outside the house. And as Anil just informed you, they did that throughout the night, refusing to leave the premises.
Well, the monsoon session of Parliament, unruly behavior by the MPs there in the Rajya Sabha, as a result of which the chairman had asked these MPs to be suspended. They were suspended for a week. So these MPs are protesting in the Parliament lawns, spending the night there, and now the deputy chairman enjoying the morning tea with meeting those unruly members of Parliament.
Right. Well, when we talk about the unruly behavior, it happened ever since, the government put forward those agrarian bills, very important for transforming the destiny of farmers, ensuring them proper support prices, proper prices for their produce in the market, anywhere they want to sell it. And that was when the opposition, clearly in a politically motivated movement of sorts, started creating that ruckus in Parliament.
Well, the suspended members were told that they were displaying unruly behavior, especially with the chair, and gross disorderly conduct. That's the reason why the chairman, Venkaiah Naidu, decided to suspend these 8 MPs from Parliament for a week. The MPs there protesting outside, spending the night outside the Parliament lawns here. The deputy chairman now trying tea diplomacy to talk it out with those MPs there, asking them in one way or the other to now wind up and wait for how things pan out. But actually this particular incident happened because of those 8 MPs, as Rukma mentioned, the 8 MPs from the Indian National Congress, the TMC, the CPI, who were suspended for a week for their unruly behavior inside Parliament.
And yesterday itself, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu had expressed great disappointment that members of Parliament were misbehaving in this manner to disrupt proceedings in the House. And well, also the fact that it's a truncated monsoon session anyway because of the COVID pandemic. So clearly, the behavior of the opposition has not sent out exactly the correct message here.
Well, the members of Parliament who were suspended, Derek O'Brien from the Trinamool Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, Sanjay Singh, Congress's Rajiv Sattav, and CPM's KK Ragesh, some of the few MPs who refused to leave the Parliament lawns. They also went from the Parliament lawns. They also went to the President Ramnath Kovind's official residence to bring attention to this particular issue about their protest outside the Parliament lawns for their suspension for a week.
Well, we're talking about the Prime Minister and his address to the convocation of IIT Guwahati through video conferencing this afternoon. A total of 1,803 students, including 687 BTech, 637 MTech students, will receive their degrees. Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, Minister of State for Education Sanjay Dhotre, and other dignitaries will participate in the event. Dr. Rajiv Modi, Chairman, Board of Governors, IIT Guwahati, and Professor T.G. Sitharam, Director, IIT Guwahati, will be present during the event.
Well, for more on that, we are joined by our correspondent Madhusmita joining us from Guwahati this morning. Good morning. This particular event by the Prime Minister, where he's going to address the IIT Guwahati students and also the convocation ceremony for them. What exactly, how is the excitement there, especially in IIT Guwahati, since the Prime Minister is going to speak to them, especially when it comes to such an important ceremony in their lives? Well, Madhusmita, you know, this is an important day in the lives of those IIT students. The Prime Minister addressing them. You are there on ground zero. Give us a sense of, you know, the interest and the buzz when it comes to students, especially when it comes to listening to the Prime Minister on an important day in their lives.
Yes, definitely, because this is the 22nd convocation where the Prime Minister himself will be addressing the students. And first of all, I would also like to mention here that because the foundation day of the IIT Guwahati that was supposed to be held a few days back, like when our former President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, he passed away. Because of that, the foundation day was postponed. In fact, finally it is not happening as such. And because of which, although all the preparations were also done during that, and however, it got cancelled because of it. And now, since the 22nd convocation is happening today, and that definitely it will be a really happy event for the students out there, because after quite a long time they will be celebrating, and because the earlier function was cancelled due to the mishappening, however, because of which this will play a big role. And since the Prime Minister of India is also addressing them, that will be also a great opportunity for the students to talk to him and listen to him. And though it is a virtual event, the avatars of the students will be given the medals by the avatar of IIT Guwahati director. And this is something which is new, that is happening because of the pandemic as such.
Right. Right, Madhusmita, thank you very much for joining us there. So the IITians to have their convocation today and to be able to listen to the Prime Minister addressing them directly.
Well, in a virtual mode, it's an altogether different feeling, but then listening to the Prime Minister on any forum is welcome, and the students, especially on a crucial juncture in their lives, will find this moment memorable, and it will be etched in their lives forever. Right. In these COVID times, clearly, well, as the entire academic year seems to have changed, the entire academic system of education, the IIT Guwahati to hold its convocation today with 1,803 students. Well, moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the two farm bills passed by Parliament are the need of the hour. The agrarian reforms give the farmers freedom to sell their produce wherever they want. He was speaking at the inauguration of projects in Bihar. Here's a report.
In addressing climate change, in breeding
a watershed moment, saying that the bills will transform the farm sector and empower crores of farmers.
नए कृषि सुधारों ने देश के हर किसान को ये आजादी दी है कि वो किसी को भी कहीं पर भी अपनी फसल, अपने फल सब्जियां अपनी शर्तों पर बेच सकता है। अब उसे अपने क्षेत्र की मंडी के अलावा भी कई और विकल्प मिल गए हैं।
PM Modi said the government would move the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020 that removes commodities such as cereals, pulses, oilseeds, onion and potatoes from the list of essential commodities and does away with the imposition of stock holding limits.
ऐसे प्रदेश जहां पर आलू बहुत होता है, वहां से रिपोर्ट्स है कि जून जुलाई के दौरान थोक खरीदारों ने किसानों को अधिक भाव देकर सीधे कोल्ड स्टोरेज से ही आलू खरीद लिया है। बाहर किसानों को आलू के ज्यादा दाम मिले तो इसकी वजह से जो किसान मंडियों में आलू लेकर पहुंचे थे, आखिर दबाव में आने के कारण, बाहर बड़ा ऊंचा मार्केट होने के कारण मंडी के लोगों को भी किसानों को ज्यादा दाम देना पड़ा। इसी तरह मध्य प्रदेश और राजस्थान से, वहां से जो रिपोर्ट मिली है कि वहां पर तेल मिलों ने किसानों को सीधे 20 से 30% ज्यादा देकर सरसों की खरीदी की है।
The Prime Minister said the farm bills passed by Parliament were the need of the 21st century India. He reassured farmers that the government will continue the practice of buying the farm produce from them and that the minimum support price mechanism will continue.
ये कानून, ये बदलाव कृषि मंडियों के खिलाफ नहीं है। कृषि मंडियों में जैसे काम पहले होता था वैसे ही अब भी होगा, बल्कि ये हमारी ही एनडीए सरकार है जिसने देश की कृषि मंडियों को आधुनिक बनाने के लिए निरंतर काम किया है। इन ऐतिहासिक बदलावों के बाद, इतने बड़े व्यवस्था परिवर्तन के बाद कुछ लोगों को अपने हाथ से नियंत्रण जाता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। इसलिए अब ये लोग एमएसपी पर किसानों को गुमराह करने में जुटे हैं। ये वही लोग हैं जो बरसों तक एमएसपी पर स्वामीनाथन कमेटी की सिफारिशों को अपने पैरों के नीचे दबाकर बैठे रहे। मैं देश के प्रत्येक किसान को इस बात का भरोसा देता हूं कि एमएसपी की व्यवस्था जैसे पहले चलती आ रही थी वैसे ही चलती रहने वाली है।
PM Modi said the agrarian reforms have given the farmers freedom to sell their produce wherever they want. The PM said farmers remained in shackles for long, leading to a lobby benefiting from their compulsions. This, he said, needed to be changed and his government has done it. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar welcomed the passage of the farm bills.
कृषि के क्षेत्र में जो आपने 2 कानून बनाए, पारित किया लोकसभा से, और अब इसका जब लाभ लोगों को मिलेगा तो आज जो कुछ भी लोग बोल रहे हैं, हमारे यहाँ भी तो लोग बोले थे, किसी को अब याद भी है, और कितना एक्विजिशन पहले कुछ नहीं होता था। तो ये सारी बात है, इसके लिए तो हम सबसे ज्यादा पुनः आपको, चूंकि अब ये पारित हो गया, राज्यसभा से भी पारित हो गया, तो हम सबसे पहले आपको इस बात के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देते हैं, धन्यवाद देते हैं कि देश के किसानों के हित में और गांव के हित में ये सब काम हो रहा है, लोगों की आमदनी बढ़ेगी।
The farmers are happy that long pending reforms have finally become a reality.
मोदी जी जो भी फैसला लेते हैं एकदम जनता के हित में लेते हैं, किसान के हित में लेते हैं, गरीब का, किसान का, मजदूर का, नौकर पेशा, सबके हित में फैसला लेते हैं, अच्छा करते हैं। मैं उनके हर फैसले का स्वागत करता हूं और धन्यवाद करता हूं।
जो भारत सरकार के किसानों के हित में 3 विधेयक पास हुए हैं, उनसे हम बहुत खुश हैं, क्योंकि अब बीच में जो लोग कुछ कर लेते थे उससे अब मुक्ति मिल गई है।
The 2 key farm bills, dubbed as the biggest reform in agriculture by the government, were on Sunday passed by the Rajya Sabha by voice vote. The 2 bills were already passed by the Lok Sabha. DD India.
Well, the government has hiked the minimum price for buying 6 Rabi crops, including wheat, as it sought to send a strong message to farmers on continuation of MSP-based procurement system. The move came a day after Parliament approved 2 agriculture sector reform bills. MSPs of 6 Rabi crops were approved by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a move aimed at encouraging farmers ahead of the sowing operations of winter crops. Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said that the government has been maintaining that the MSP mechanism will continue and the approval of new support price ahead of Rabi season at least to this fact, as against a false propaganda created or spread by the opposition parties.
मैंने उस समय भी कहा था एमएसपी जारी रहेगी। जो भारत सरकार ने कहा, जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने कहा, वो एमएसपी घोषित करके उसको आज हमने प्रमाणित किया है। और मैं आपके माध्यम से सारे देश को ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि एमएसपी भी जारी रहेगी, एपीएमसी भी जारी रहेगी, और एपीएमसी के बाहर किसान अपने उत्पादन का उचित मूल्य प्राप्त करने के लिए किसी भी स्थान, किसी भी राज्य, किसी भी व्यक्ति को किसी भी कीमत पर बेचने के लिए स्वतंत्र है।
And Parliament approved the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2020, whereby fresh insolvency proceedings will not be initiated for at least 6 months starting from the 25th of March in view of the coronavirus pandemic. Replying to a debate on the bill in the Lok Sabha, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the amendments would provide relief to companies reeling under the impact of the pandemic. The bill seeking to replace the ordinance was later approved by the Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has already approved the bill on Saturday.
ऐसे ऑर्डिनेंस का आवश्यकता इससे ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्चुअल, अब का माहौल से ज्यादा कॉन्टेक्चुअल शायद 100 साल में नहीं हुआ। इससे टाइमली ऑर्डिनेंस ले आने का माहौल शायद इन आने वाले 100 साल में भी नहीं हो सकता है। इसीलिए वी केम अप विद ऑर्डिनेंस। The dimension and the scale of the pandemic was obvious, and therefore we had to come up with an ordinance which clearly suspended the application of 3 sections, 7, 9 and 10 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, which is after all a young law, only 2016. But we had to prevent any company which is experiencing distress because of the COVID getting or being pushed into an insolvency proceeding, and therefore we had to suspend these 3 sections.
Well, Parliament gave its assent to the Epidemic Diseases Amendment Bill 2020 with Lok Sabha passing it with voice vote. Replying to the debate in Lok Sabha on the Epidemic Diseases Amendment Bill 2020, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan hailed the efforts of Corona warriors and said that their contributions will be remembered in golden letters in history. The Epidemic Diseases Amendment Bill 2020 amends the Epidemic Diseases Act 1897 to include protections for healthcare service personnel combating epidemic diseases. Rajya Sabha gave its nod to the bill on the 19th of this month.
कोरोना का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा तो कोरोना वॉरियर्स का इतिहास उस इतिहास में सबसे ज़्यादा स्वर्णिम अक्षरों के अंदर लिखा जाएगा। और इतिहास, जैसा मैंने कल भी कहा था, कि उन माताओं को भी हमेशा याद रखेगा जो कि लगातार पिछले 9 महीने से देख रही हैं कि एक के बाद एक कोरोना वॉरियर्स, चाहे वो डॉक्टर हो, चाहे वो नर्सेज हो, बहुत सारे जर्नलिस्ट भी कोरोना वॉरियर्स की तरह इस जंग के अंदर उन्होंने अपने प्राण दिए।
He also reiterated the central government's commitment to support the state government in the fight against COVID-19.
हमने किसी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को नहीं कहा कि आपसे हमको पैसा चाहिए। हमने सारे देश भर के 22 लाख वर्कर्स का जो है इंश्योरेंस खुद किया, उसके लिए सारा का सारा प्रीमियम भारत सरकार ने दिया। बड़ी विनम्रता के साथ कहना चाहता हूं कि हम पूरे 9 महीने से प्रधानमंत्री जी, उनकी पूरी टीम पूरी विनम्रता के साथ सारे देश को सब प्रकार का सहयोग करने के लिए लगी है। जब देश में 3 कोबास की मशीनें आई सिर्फ इस पूरे 9 महीने में, जहां सबसे ज्यादा जिनके टेस्ट होते हैं, तो प्रधानमंत्री जी को जब निर्णय करना था तो उन्होंने ये नहीं सोचा कि इस कोबास मशीन को जो है मुझे किसी अपने बीजेपी की सरकार के पास भेजना है। उन्होंने उसको महाराष्ट्र में भेजा, उन्होंने उसको वेस्ट बंगाल में भेजा। ये 135 करोड़ लोगों के प्राण की रक्षा के लिए हम लोग सब मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं।
And a big day for the welfare of labourers today. In order to ensure historical reforms for labour, the Modi government will table 3 codes for discussion and passage in the lower house today. Union Labour and Employment Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar on Saturday introduced the 3 codes in the lower house. These codes are the Industrial Relations Code 2020, the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020 and the Code on Social Security. These reforms will help in protecting interests of labourers. Besides, they will ensure a protective and safe work environment for them. An effective redressal mechanism will also be available to dispose of their complaints. These labour codes have been designed to protect the interests of both labourers and employers. These 3 bills will pave the way for simplification and implementation of labour laws and will also strengthen labour welfare measures being taken by the government for over 50 crore workers in both the organised and unorganised sector in the country.
In Rajya Sabha, 9 bills have been listed in the legislative business of the House for today. Bills including the Indian Institute of Information Technology Laws Amendment Bill 2020, the Companies Amendment Bill 2020, the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill, the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020, the National Forensic Sciences University Bill 2020, the Rashtriya Raksha University Bill 2020 will be tabled for consideration and passage in the upper house today. While the Taxation and Other Laws Relaxation and Amendment of Certain Provisions Bill and the Appropriation number 3 and 4 Bill 2020 already passed by the Lok Sabha will be tabled for return after consideration by the Rajya Sabha.
Well, another fruitful day in Parliament over and above an unruly opposition. Our correspondent Abhishek Jha joins us there. Abhishek, first of all, well, regarding what happened yesterday in the House, the government sending a strong message to farmers on MSP-based procurement system.
Good morning, Rukma, and of course, government has been trying to tell not only farmers but the opposition parties in Delhi and in the Parliament also that the steps, all these 3 bills that have been passed by the Parliament, they are in favor of farmers, their community, and they are in fact going to empower them financially and letting them have more right over their own produce and whom would they want to sell it and where would they want to sell it. So in a way, this is in no way going to bring down their existing mechanism of selling their produce, but rather it will give them a more alternative and more profitable way to make more margin on their produce by not going having to go to the mandi and spending on the transportation costs also, rather than waiting for the buyers to come at their doorstep and selling them at the price they want to sell at. Okay. They can also wait for some time and hold their produce until the prices in the market go to a certain extent where they would feel that they can get maximum profit out of it. So these are the basic tenets of these bills, and government has never mentioned that it's going to either stop the MSP or shut the mandi. Two major false propaganda that is being spread across the communities of farmers that this MSP and mandi system are going to be abolished. This has not been the case, and the government is trying to reach out to farmers through various ways. And Prime Minister himself has been, in the last 2-3 days, he's been in all of his addresses, he has been telling farmer community across the country to believe on the government's plan to make farmers more empowered and more financially strong in the days to come by making these 3 bills into a law.
Abhishek, looking at the 3 labor reform laws that are going to be presented in Lok Sabha today, how do you see these labor reforms to be a game changer, especially when it comes to industrial labor as well as organized as well as unorganized sector?
Anil, there is a huge workforce which is employed in these unorganized sectors, especially in MSME sector, where we have seen that laborers they are not required for all through 12 months. Sometimes they are required for by the need of the in the season of their demand. and so they don't have much of the social security by the employers. They don't have much of any medical security. There are a lot of industries where the kind of work is very hazardous, and they are not provided with enough of security and safety equipment, and those occupational hazards are also impacting their health, impacting their lives and their livelihood. In a way, these three bills are going to address those loopholes where not only those workers will have more rights over their work schedule, right over their work environment. The employers who will be employing these workers, they will also benefit with these laws. So this bill again is not in a way going to create a distrust or create a gap between the employer and employees. This is rather going to bridge them in a way that both the parties will be benefiting from this bill and these reforms. Government is also trying to pitch in all that it can in terms of financial, in terms of social, providing social security to this community. And one can only expect that going forward, these bills will bring more formalization into these unorganized sector in the days to come.
Right. Right. Well, Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman, stay with us, Abhishek Jha. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh Narayan Singh today met the 8 suspended MPs in Parliament premises. As we were telling you a short while back, they are the suspended Parliament members. And he also offered tea to the MPs, as Anil was saying, a little morning tea diplomacy there.
Well, exactly. The 8 suspended MPs refusing to leave continued their overnight sit-in the Parliament lawns there. The suspended MPs
from the TMC and the Indian National Congress, among other parties. I think the...
Well, Abhishek still there with us. Abhishek, those it's tea diplomacy being tried there by the Deputy Speaker there, meeting those 8 MPs in the Parliament lawns.
In fact, it was the Deputy Speaker's microphone that was...
Yes, and so one can only see the ray of hope in this situation. Because see, what has happened in the day before yesterday in Parliament, that was unprecedented, that needed to be addressed in a manner that it doesn't occur in future also. So those suspension of these MPs, that was a strong message. But at the same time, Deputy Speaker, he is also kind of guardian of the House, and he doesn't have anything personal against these MPs. And meeting with these people, these lawmakers, this is just a message from the government side that it does not want to escalate the situation. It does not want to create a distrust among the members that, okay, the Deputy Speaker is partisan, Deputy Speaker is trying to do something and behest of a government and is not trying to hear or listen to the demands and their cries of opposition. So this tea diplomacy is in a way an attempt to reach out to the opposition member to create a kind of confidence among them and build some sort of bridge that has been there has been some turmoil in terms of trust between opposition and the government in the Parliament. So these efforts will try to repair those mistrust, and of course one can only see going forward a smooth Parliament session happening, because the time is very limited, the sessions are divided.
Right, limited time there because the monsoon session is already truncated. As you just mentioned, Abhishek, a confidence building measure that's sending out a strong message, in fact eliminating in a sense all that happened these past 2 days in a way, because it was the Deputy Speaker who was at the center of all that happened in a way. Yesterday too, they were demanding a no confidence motion against him, which was rejected of course by Chairman Venkaiah Naidu. But here we see him reaching out to the very MPs who had caused him such distress.
So, Rukma, we have known that Harivansh, he has always been known as a humble person, a person who has come from a very humble background, and he is a person who has had friends in both sides of the fences. So, something that has happened yesterday, that one can always believe that this was not something that Harivansh would have wanted to happen, but then the situation was totally out of hand and he had to take a call. But at the same time, he may have those friends that he has kind of suspended, and reaching out to them is a message that government still wants to have more dialogue with opposition. It is in no way going to have an, as the opposition has said, authoritarian way of dealing with the issues in the government. It wants to have more dialogue. It wants to have more reaching out efforts and confidence building measures so that the opposition parties, though they are less in number, though they are going to have their democratic right to oppose bills, but they can also be taken into confidence while making a decision which will be in the larger interest of country and the larger interest of the countrymen. So these efforts are in that direction, and one can only hope from here that opposition parties now they will come back to the working table. They will believe the government side, and one can see the smooth session, because yesterday the session had to be adjourned in Rajya Sabha. So today, at the time you only have said that the truncated session needs to work smoothly, needs to allow the work and discussions to go on, so that more and more bills and matters of urgency could be heard and they can be acted upon by the parliament.
Well, we'll leave it there. An olive branch being extended there by the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Harivansh Singh, there clearly sending out a message that, of peace here, clearly with those 8 members of Parliament who were suspended for a week and who spent the night outside the Parliament complex. Well, now, moving ahead, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appreciated DD News program on his address to the UNGA. Prime Minister has shared an image from the program through a Twitter message. Well, Prime Minister appreciating the DD News program that was put up last night on his address virtually to the UNGA.
Very heartening there for DD News as well as DD India. The Prime Minister himself recognizing the efforts being put in and by our colleagues there, Amritpal Singh and Chandrasekhar Joshi.
Well, exactly.
And it was a 3:30 a.m. Message that the Prime Minister, address that the Prime Minister gave via video conferencing. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with US billionaire Ray Dalio at the Future Investment Initiative in Saudi Arabia. The interaction was such that after it, Dalio tweeted, PM Modi is one of the best, if not the best, leaders in the world. Check out
Today,
the video.
70 years ago, in the ancient city of Anandapura, present-day Vadnagar, Gujarat in India, a boy was born. He was destined to cause change for his people and country. As we celebrate this day, we would like to share his thoughts on global empowerment and the future of the world.
मेडिटेशन की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होती है। जब आप डिटेच होकर के स्थितियों को देखते हैं, तब आप संतुलित सोच और एक प्रकार से उपयोगी निर्णय की दिशा में जा सकते हैं। इस सारी प्रक्रिया में जो लोग रेगुलर मेडिटेशन की दुनिया से जुड़े हैं, वे अपने भीतर इस प्रकार की एक एनर्जी को अनुभव करते हैं। लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भी इस शताब्दी और पिछली शताब्दी में हुए हैं, और उसका कारण होलियर देन दाउ, सुपेरियरिटी का विचार, एक प्रकार से सहजीवन के अस्तित्व का अस्वीकार और सबको मिलकर के ग्रो करना चाहिए, इस सोच का अभाव का परिणाम है कि हमने अपने आप को संघर्षों में खपा दिया और हमारी विकास का रास्ता भी एक प्रकार से विजय प्राप्त करने के इरादे का रहा, दूसरे को नीचा करने का रहा, और इस सारी स्थितियों में से ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को जन्म हुआ है। मैं समझता हूं कि विश्व में सम्यक सोच के साथ आगे बढ़ना इस परिस्थितियों का रास्ता निकाल सकता है। आज दुनिया का हर देश इंटरडिपेंडेंट है, इंटरकनेक्टेड है, और उसमें हर एक की अपनी आवश्यकताएं भी कारण है और टेक्नोलॉजी भी रोल कर रही है। और ऐसी स्थिति में आज से 3-4 दशक पहले जिस प्रकार से दुनिया को देखा जाता था, वो काल बीत चुका है।
Well, let us now take a look at an update on COVID-19 from across the country. India continues to top the world in the total number of COVID-19 recoveries. 93,356 recoveries recorded in a single day, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 43,96,399. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 80.12%. India's three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a success. The fatality rate has dropped to 1.60%.
And time to move on to news from across the globe, COVID updates as well as other stories making headlines. Now let's take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 3 crore 14 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with more than 9 lakh 69,000 deaths. As many as 2 crore 31 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. The United States continues to top the list, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of COVID cases. The US has crossed the 70 lakh mark with over 70.46 COVID-19 cases, with deaths now crossing 2 lakh 4,000. In terms of the death toll, Brazil stands second in the tally with over 1 lakh 37,000 deaths, and there are more than 45 lakh 60,000 cases of COVID-19 in Brazil.
Well, after a look at those international stories, it's time now to take a look at stories that are making headlines from the World Wide Web and also from social media. Let's take a look at our web review segment. Well, time for our web review segment there. Web review segment now. Let's go over and catch what's the latest in the World Wide Web. Well, Abhishek there joining us this morning. Abhishek, good morning. Abhishek, what's the latest there? What are the trending stories that you have for us and for our audience?
Thanks, Anil, once again. And to start with today's web news review, I have the Statesman's headline. It says it talks about the MSP on Rabi crops for marketing season 21-22 and the approval of it. It has also said that the increase in MSP for Rabi crops is in line with the principles of fixing the MSP at a level of at least 1.5 times of the all India weightage average. So a decision that goes in favor of farmers. We have all seen how much of farmers' issues are sensitive, and the countrywide there's a lot of discussion going on. Maybe the news will have some effect on that also. Next in line is Hindustan Times. It says, as we know that across countries, so many state schools and colleges are reopening after almost being shut for 6 months. So this is stories from Meghalaya, where schools are reopening in a staggered manner. Though attendances are sparse, but then school authorities and the administration, they have also asked the teachers to have more safety measures and practical, health protocol practice in the class, and while being at school. Regular checkups are also being done. Next is the news from Indian Express, which says how much of the IITs, IIMs and central universities and Navodaya schools, and they have cared for PM Care Fund while giving a donation from their own pay, and this has been almost 22 crore rupees have been donated to PM Care Fund, which have been used for this COVID pandemic situation. We have seen 50,000 almost ventilators were bought and distributed from this PM Care Fund. Also, so much has been done and so much of money has come to this PM Care Fund because of the kind of pandemic and the sensitivity this issue has at large. Next is the Pioneers News. It says that CBI has booked Dairy Maker Quality Limited Director over 1,400 crore bank fraud. Raids have been conducted. We know government is coming heavily on these fraudsters and these money launderers, and this case is one of additional cases where this this brand, these men, they have been booked, they have been raids are being conducted.
Okay.
After 11 days after FIR, these cases are being probed by CBI, and next is DNA, which is good news for Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, people from Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore, that they will have flight connectivity to Darbhanga. One should remember the fact that this place, which is in northern Bihar, connecting with Lanchal and a region, there has been long pending demand for opening up this airport, and government's Udan scheme is going to ensure that this service will be started. Spice Jet is to start with this service. There was already a small airstrip there, but way back it was destroyed and it was not being well maintained, and it was used for very limited purposes. So now the repair work, the maintenance work, and the extension of those airstrip has happened, and that will ensure that a smooth functioning of airport facility for civilian aircraft also and civilian services also. Good news especially. And now this we go back to Karnataka, where the Times of India's headline is that Karnataka, with rising number of COVID-19 cases, monsoon session is truncated to 5 days. We know countrywide the situation has been unpredictable. Sometimes the authorities and the state administration, they seem to be under control of the situation, but suddenly they see the spike, and accordingly the decisions are taken. And Karnataka Assembly has taken decision to truncate its session by 5 days, and the 10-day session will be now 5-day session. Economic Times has made news that how affordable smartphone sales have shot up as the demand rose due to e-learning needs. So this is one sector, technological based, both in terms of hardware and software, where the business has been very good no matter what. In fact, the COVID has actually escalated, and despite the business environment in technological sphere, and this is smartphone, computer, laptop, these are one of the major gainers out of this crisis. Haryana government has said that it will purchase farm produce at 1% fee in market. This is another good news for farmers, because we have seen so much of confusion happening among farmers, that who is going to buy, what percentage of commission they will be having to pay. Domestic airlines is also bouncing back. The Deccan Herald has made it news that domestic airlines is bouncing back as booking is rising. People are starting to travel across the country from major cities to their destination, and this has given a boost to domestic airlines, who have been almost at the brink of collapse because of almost 4 or 5 months. There were no passengers, there was no traffic, and there was no service. So now, as the service have resumed, people have started following safety protocols. So the aviation flights are also taking place, and the business is also growing in both in numbers and in sentiments. Tribune has made news of need to keep check on digital media, and that center has told that export in an affidavit filed to the Supreme Court. Center has said that print and electronic media, they rarely cross the line, however, a very nature of their composition. But the digital media is completely uncontrolled and remains unregulated by and large. And there may be something going forward from this point, but because the government has said that electronic and print media, they still have some regulation, they still have some sort of regulation in them, but the social media, which is totally not monitored, not controlled, and everybody and anybody can make news out of something, and so this needs to be regulated. So one can only hope that all this news and fake news and this propaganda, they will have more controlled atmosphere in the days to come. This was all, Anil, for today's web news review.
Well, Abhishek, thank you. It is a comprehensive 10 stories that you picked from the World Wide Web that were making headlines there, and also carried in some of the newspapers from the national capital. Well, what do we have next, Rukma?
Right, in sports, it appears the Italian Open crown will now be worn by none other than Novak Djokovic. Also, but all eyes now are on the French Open and Halep's match-winning performance.
Well, exactly. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what's making news in our sports segment.
Sports Track.
Well, world number 1 Novak Djokovic overcame a sluggish start to lift his 5th Italian Open title on Monday, defeating Argentinian Diego Schwartzman in straight sets 7-5, 6-3 for a record 36th ATP Masters crown. The Serb, playing in his first tournament since being disqualified from this month's US Open, won in straight sets in the final to ensure he goes into next week's French Open on a high. Djokovic has drawn level with Rafael Nadal last month on an all-time list of Masters winners with his Western and Southern Open title. Heading into next week's French Open, Djokovic has now won 31 of his 32 matches this season and will be one of the favorites in Paris alongside 12-time winner Rafael Nadal and newly crowned US Open champion Dominic Thiem.
And well, time now to take a look at the weather and the forecast by the weathermen for the day. Well, heavy to very heavy rainfall in a few places with extremely heavy falls at isolated places very likely over Sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim and Konkan and Goa. Heavy to very heavy rains at isolated places with extremely heavy falls at isolated places over Assam and Meghalaya and Madhya Maharashtra. Heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places over West Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, Arunachal Pradesh, Gujarat region and coastal Karnataka. Thunderstorm with lightning at isolated places very likely over Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha, Chhattisgarh, Sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Meghalaya. Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura, that's almost the entire northeast, Gujarat region, Telangana, coastal Andhra Pradesh and Yanam and interior Karnataka.
Well, strong winds very likely over southwest, southeast and central Arabian Sea off and along the Kerala, Karnataka, Goa coast and Lakshadweep area. Fishermen being advised not to enter into the sea. Well,
and now the temperatures.
Time now to take a look at temperatures in your city.
Well, we've come to the end of this edition of Breakfast News, but there's lots to look forward to throughout the day, both in Parliament. Well, the Prime Minister's address is there to students of at the convocation of the IIT in Guwahati. Also, news from sports, and we'll be giving you all those updates in our bulletins here on DD India. So tune in throughout the day.
Well, time for us to say goodbye, but before we say goodbye, we leave you with a visual that's going to, leave an impact on your thoughts across the day. Today's visual comes from the Berlin Annual Festival of Lights, which pays tribute to the city residents in solidarity during the pandemic. It says, "Together we shine." Take a look, have a safe and wonderful day ahead.
Namaskar.